I started with just $2,000 and grew that into 7-8 figures. My portfolio in business started way before cars. It started in the tech industry.
I was 20, making 6 figures.
Yeah.
Selling phones.
Correct.
I actually buy a 13 Pro Max from you too.
Yeah, in Starbucks. We moved from 4 cars into over 20, 30 plus.
Like, there's no reason for you to go on the beach with a vessel.
Finding God has kept me saying, I need to be with God. I need God to direct my path.
One thing I learned running my business is the fastest way to level up is to surround yourself with people who know a lot more than you and actually listen. So that's exactly what this is. Real conversations with real people building real things, the actual story, what they did, how they did it, what it cost them, and what they wish somebody would have tell them when they was now starting up. If you're ever serious about buying a car, sure you hear the name Glofrank Motors, and today I have with me the man running it, Joel. We've seen. So I know me and you know each other a long time now, but for the people who don't know who Joel is and what Joel is do, again, I'm a little quick rundown about yourself.
My name is Joel Ramlogan. I'm the managing director of Glofrank Motors, and I'm 23 years old and a young aspiring businessman in Trinidad and Tobago.
So growing up, I know you grew up around the car business as well, but is it something that you thought you always would get into as well? Because I know you kind of like me and we always jumping into different things based on what we get excited. Some kind of hustle here, some kind of hustle there, but you thought that the car business was always where you was going to get into, or you had other plans?
So growing up, I was highly into academics. I was into sports as well. I played sports at a high level, cricket and tennis. Growing up, my main dream, and which is still one of my main dreams, is to become a pilot.
For real?
In aviation. Yeah, something you probably didn't know.
I get free tickets when you get,
hopefully, I hope for some free tickets too. But yeah, the business was always there. The business was doing well. I always thought I would get into some business. Business was a main dream
always
because
on business.
Yeah, business is making
business
money.
come with.
Yeah.
It just happened to be. Well, you know, once it's business, it's
Yeah.
business. It could be any niche.
Correct. My portfolio in business started way before cars. It started in the tech industry. So back in, I would say 2019, December 2019, I wanted to purchase a phone for my dad.
Right.
But
Android or iOS?
iOS.
Alright.
Unlocked to the Android fans.
Yeah.
iPhone 10 or 11 back then.
Right.
Can't remember exactly, but me being able to travel, I was grateful I was able to travel at a young age and visit the Apple store. I saw the prices of phones in America, and compared to what it was selling for in Trinidad, I walked in a store in Port of Spain and I saw the phone for like way over $10,000. And I know
I see dollar signs.
Yeah. Back then I know the phone was like $700-800 US,
Yeah.
which is like $5,000-6,000 TT dollars.
So I do that maths in your head.
Do that
So
maths.
from ever since the beginning, your head always thinking business. You just walk in a store, see the price, you already had a calculate. Now, how much profit this man making here, boy?
Yeah.
And
But I mean, after a certain age,
Right.
I would think about that like growing up 17, 18, then I would think business because I know I have to get into something to sustain my future.
Yeah.
So after that certain age, I would look at prices and this kind of thing. But that was the first major opportunity that came to me and that propelled me a long way. Was the tech industry. So I walked into the Apple store, so it had this price, and I walked in the store in Trinidad, so it had the next price, and I say, this doesn't make sense.
Right.
This, I'm paying like double the amount for the phone. So it didn't make sense to me. I say, all right, I'll just import the phone, and I could possibly be like the store and sell this phone on the market, make some money, sustain most. Like at the time, the small goals are hard. And it was a dream from back then to get into business as well, to grow a business. I think that's a bigger thing, to grow a business to a level that you are respected by others and the business community.
Right. And then from there, essentially, it kind of, as it go on, you just kind of fall into the Glofrank side of things.
Yeah, correct. Well, a little before the tech too, I go back to traveling. I was in America and I saw different opportunities, different markets and styles and stuff. So even before the tech, I was importing shoes like Yeezys.
I was one buy Yeezys from you. That's actually how I know you. But actually almost, you just didn't get the color that I wanted.
I sold a lot of shoes across the whole of Trinidad. So Yeezys, different brands, designer brands. We started with that and made a couple $1,000, and then we came into the tech market. Like a challenge you normally get when you're young, and I think like now too, is like to spend it. You have it, you spend it. So I once was going to make a mistake. I made a couple $1,000 on shoes, and I was going to blow it out. The new PlayStation 4 or 5 came out back then, and all the money I had, I was going to buy that PlayStation and run games during COVID. Because that was COVID time, everybody running games.
Right.
Why not jump on the trend?
Yeah.
But luckily, I was angry at my dad back then for stopping me from going to buy it. But I'm thankful that was one of the best decisions he made for
guidance.
me.
Good guidance.
He stopped me from buying it.
Right.
And going and spending my money on something unnecessary.
And you probably would have wasted plenty of time too if
Correct,
you had the, you know. What was your process of moving from like the hustles, the shoes, the tech?
Yeah.
How was that transition going from that into like cars?
Yeah.
Into where you end up now?
Well, in the tech industry, built my name in the marketplace to a good level. Over 2-3 years in COVID, I was very grateful that we were able to sell thousands of devices during COVID. Whether it be phones, it was PlayStations, everything tech related, MacBooks, iPads, everything tech related.
Right.
I sold it throughout the country for a couple years and grew the capital that I had to 6 figures into 7 figures. It was a good sustainable means of income for me back then. That's like I was 20 years, 21 years back then, and
so where is it? So you was 20, making 6 figures.
Yeah.
Selling phones.
Correct. Selling
that's
phones.
Crazy, bro. That's motivation. Because I know people personally right now who like flipping phones, selling phones. So like just the proof of concept that they hear and you was making this kind of money, like just give it that motivation to really double down on what you're doing now, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it was hard work I put in. I think I was one of the first big sellers on Facebook Marketplace with tech coming in. I was one of the leaders in that.
I actually buy a 13 Pro Max from you too.
Yeah, in Starbucks. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Starbucks. Yeah, so tech revolutionized the industry and make it, as I say, one of the first big sellers to come on board that social media era when we was in COVID. Very grateful that God blessed me enough to make something during that period where the whole country and the whole economy was at home and was down. 2023, late 2023, I decided I would want to start back up Glofrank because it is a family business, but we put a pause in the family business, which struggled in the economy and stuff, again, foreign exchange. But I had built a good connection with the tech industry, and foreign exchange wasn't a big issue for me back then when starting it back up. So I decided from back then, 2023, we started the Glofrank back up, opened back the bank accounts, did everything necessary to start it.
It was fully closed?
Yeah, fully closed. And we did everything necessary to start back the selling of cars. And when I started, I had enough money to invest into 4 cars. Back then it was a little into 7 digits, a little over $1 million. And invested into 4 cars. Still continued the tech a little bit, but a good portion of the money was invested into cars. So yeah, we had invested into 4 cars, and when we did marketing, next thing I would talk about, the marketing in the tech was so good that when we jumped into cars, it was something like no dealer ever did, the marketing that we brought into this. So even before it came in, all 4 cars were sold out, waiting for customers. And then starting from 4 cars, kept on flipping. And that period, 2024 to 2025, which seems like so short of a period, we moved from 4 cars into like over 20, 30 plus at one time in the showroom. Stock has been increasing. I believe we have been transforming the market and revolutionizing the market.
Same. I think that's a good lesson too for people. For example, let me say the tech business wasn't so good to you and you failed. You still learn that skill of the marketing and the modern marketing. So some people, they might start something and fail and think it's a failure. But like to me, it have lessons and everything.
Yeah, it have lessons.
So even if the tech didn't work out, you have that skill to now come and bring across to the cars.
Correct.
So like everything you're doing just is always something to learn in every part of the process now.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
How you feel like the business has scaled from then to now? What you think really push it over there? Because right now, every time I open Instagram, I see in Glofrank, I see in our vessel on the beach, I see in our Taycan on the road, something. But basically, you're saying that came from the expertise you get with the marketing from the tech side phones. That you just kind of bring across.
Correct, yeah. Kind of came like the same. Instead of selling a phone now, is selling a car to a market. And although it's a big price difference, it's come like the same. It's just selling a product.
The same process.
So yeah, what I essentially did, I developed good relationships with the suppliers I started developing relationships with the banks so that every bank in Trinidad would trust us, every credit union would trust us. Suppliers would come and offer their best services to us. And the most important thing is the customer. We develop that relationship and that trust. That trust with the customer that they see in us. As you say, every time you open social media, you see a Glofrank card pop up.
But you mentioned something earlier, which was the relationship with the customers, right? I think that's something that people watching could take into consideration as well. Something that you say is, regardless of the price of the item, whether it's $100,000 or whether it's $10,000, whether it's $100, that relationship with the customer is the most important thing.
Correct.
Right? So what you would say to somebody who selling, like you say, they're selling perfumes on their website, where's a piece of advice you can give them about that customer relationship?
I could give you the same advice as give my sales rep. You have to build a trust with the customer. You have to build that trust with me so that I want to purchase a device from you or whatever it is from you. So as soon as a customer starts to reply to you or start sending you messages and stuff, you have to take the forefront and make sure that their needs are met and over-exceeded. So a customer asks you a question, you're giving them more than what they asked for. You're building that trust so that they would want to message you back and they would want to purchase that item for you. So that's what we have mastered in the tech game. We brought it into the car game as well, and hopefully a couple other businesses soon.
If you had to think of one main thing that you could look back at Glofrank and say, I personally do that. Me, Joel, I do that and I'm proud of it. If you had to choose one thing, where you'd say that would be?
I'm always proud of the social media aspect that we reach. And
the direction, the way you execute on the social media.
And us having a marketing team now, we have a marketing team to control the social media. But I could say from the start, I put everything into that social media. All the work, the marketing, I'm real proud of the marketing.
The whole direction, the whole concept, everything.
Everything, all the formats, everything we use, captions, everything we put out on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I could say from the start, I played the key role in starting that with every other thing in the business.
So it's a one-man show, but that's the part that you're really truly...
I'm real passionate about
I feel it. I mean, and anybody who watching this could see it too.
Correct.
You don't really go online and see other companies as much as you'll see Glofrank. And you might see a nice cinematic video of a car, but you wouldn't see somebody talking about the car and showing you the car and repeatedly over. Like, there's no reason for you to go on the beach with a vessel. You just do that for the customer to enjoy the video when they watch it. You know what I mean? You could come like at the big yard here, you could just come outside but it's like going the extra mile now. Like making a better...
That video kind of put us out there as well too, and our next level, because when we dropped that video, initially we started getting a lot of hate that we were using our car on the beach. Although we didn't drive it in the water, we would never do something like that. We just drive it on the sand. And that video, everybody was talking about that video. It did over a couple million views through all the platforms. And everyone was like, this company doing all of that for marketing. And that video in itself gave us a big turnover. Sold a lot of vessels with that video. Just with the creative mindset. And all of that, it wasn't really pre-planned. We just said we go into Maracas, we're gonna shoot a video. That was Tyrico, I believe it was.
That's a little further down.
Further down. I alone was going to do the video, but my fiance now, she was there at the time and randomly just chain her up and say, hey, come in this video, you're gonna get views.
Because you already thinking it's not just about shooting the video. You're thinking about what would be a good hook, what would be a good start of the video, what would be a good host for the video. So like, that's a lot of like people don't realize social media is also a full-time job. And you was doing that at the same time while you was doing everything else.
Everything else.
So sometimes you really had to give it 110%.
Correct. More than 110. 210.
So the business before it closed down, right? It was your dad that was running the business, right? What you would say is one piece of advice he ever give you that no book or no YouTube video could ever teach you. It's like a real life piece of advice that was monumental in the way that you run businesses.
I was small at the time, like 4 or 5 years old. And I used to be seeing hundreds of cars in our yard. A lot of different cars, a lot of different customers. And one thing that I saw from him that helped me out right now and put a different mindset in me is the amount of hours he worked. He was a police officer, then he quit police and became full-time in the cars. But the amount of hours from dealing with customers every day. We didn't have the team like what we had now back then when he was running. So it was just him dealing with customers, 2 or 3 guys cleaning hundreds of different cars. He being that one-man show, running every single part of the business.
Yeah.
From picking up, leaving so to pick up one car in the port to bring it back to go and pick up our next car. Then having to talk hours with suppliers at night. And then coming and
still the work ethic behind the scenes.
The work ethic.
And that's kind of ingrained on you from.
Yeah.
That was something really not teachable.
Yeah. You can watch a YouTube video where it's already work and seeing the work come to action.
Yeah, so he literally ingrained that in you by action.
Correct, by action.
I feel you. What you would say is the hardest part of running a car dealership or the biggest challenge of running a car dealership in Trinidad?
Let me look at it as we starting as a first-time dealer on the market or a small dealer. Challenge that everybody runs into is cash flow problems. These cars aren't cheap. It's like a couple $100,000 in one car, and then you have so many cars. And the pressure to be able to sell, to flip a car, bills coming up. It's a lot of different challenges, but it's how you deal with those challenges. So how you go about mitigating, how you go about consolidating and stuff is really what makes it stand out from a average person getting into business. So it's really about dealing with the challenges.
I think it have a lot to do with how well they work under pressure as well.
Correct.
Because somebody might hit the fan once and you give up. Versus like somebody like yourself. You will stay whole day and figure out what's the solution to this.
Correct,
You know, so speaking about shit hitting the fan, we all know as business owners, most of the times things not going right.
Correct.
But nobody will see it from the outside, right? So you can tell me about one time that something terrible happened, whether it be a bad hire, something mess up with somebody's vehicle, sometimes a time that shit really hit the fan, and how you deal with it or how you overcome it.
As I say, running a business, you're into challenges every single day. It's not to say back then we have challenges and now we don't have challenges. Yeah, but one time I would say is we ran into a major US cash flow problem where we were in the US and we had such a big quota of cars coming in, and it was so hard to get the US that we were essentially stuck with these cars coming into Trinidad and entering Trinidad, and we do have the US capability or the
allowance.
Correct, to get the US, because the main source where we were getting the US from, it completely left the market, and we had to look into other avenues.
Basically, that's the problem solved on
problem
the worst scale ever.
Because that's the driving factor. USD is the driving factor for our business. So I think it was probably a little bad on me not putting like a second option to get USD back then. I was only relying on this one source. That was a major problem we faced, and it was real stressful, like dealing with that and having weeks knowing you have a couple $100,000 USD in cars, a couple million TT dollars inbound, and you don't even have a clue where to get the US for these cars. These cars could come in, next thing you end up in legal problems. Next thing, port want to charge you this amount in rent and stuff. But I was thankful with the connections I built in both the tech and the car market before this problem happened, that we problem solve, we mitigate, and so it didn't happen overnight. It took a month to 2 months for us to get over the hurdle and the challenge. And once I was able to put the right things in place, we were able to flow very well, and now it isn't much of a problem. Although I wouldn't say that it's not much of a problem. We always need you.
It's an easier problem to solve for that.
Correct, it's an easier problem to solve.
What is something you would say you learned from that experience? I assuming it would be not put all the eggs in one basket from where I was getting the US.
Well, I mean, that is the major problem we had there. One thing I would have learned again too is when challenges arise, I can't take long to resolve the issue. So I need to be thinking ahead, I need to be on the go, I need to be seeing these things coming so that it doesn't set me back. And there's something from then till now that I developed, and I'm overcome challenges a lot easier right now.
I think that's something valuable for anybody out there. All you always had to be 10 steps ahead of what could possibly go wrong. Because if it go wrong on you, shit out a lot sometimes.
Shit to the
I feel you. Did your relationship with money change as the business grew?
That's actually a funny story. I was telling my fiance the other day. So my perspective is not really money. My perspective is building a company to a level that we respected not only in Trinidad, in the Caribbean. Obviously, you need money to fund that.
Yeah.
But my goal would not be, hey, I have $2-3 million in the bank account.
Right.
I happy, I relax.
Yeah.
That's not me. And for example, with starting from 4 vehicles to reaching the 10 to 20 vehicles, I could easily stop scaling
Right.
and live a very comfortable life,
Yeah.
not scaling. But as I say, that's not my
not your
my
driving
philosophy.
force.
Yeah, correct. So, as I say, a funny story. I was telling my fiance, back then when I was selling phones and making, let me say, $500 or $1,000 per phone, and all the hustle and the grit and the energy, I used to probably value money way more and was excited to make a $500 on a phone than right now we selling cars and we making X amount on a car. The philosophy on was different back then because it was really the first time I was making money.
Right.
And I was like, hey, I have a $500. I could go and buy something. I could go to a restaurant. I could carry my friends out, this, that, and the other. But now it changed because the driving force of the business
no longer.
It's
so
not
actually changing the opposite way that people would think.
Correct.
Right.
It's not about.
It's about building.
Correct. I would say a lot of successful people do it. It's having a mindset where money is not the driving force. Being able to feed so much different families, having to work in this one company, and seeing people smile and be happy because of you and the company that they work in. That's a main thing rather than money. Just chasing after the money because you'll get tired of it sooner or later. And then what will be a driving factor after you get tired of chasing money?
It's true.
Yeah, correct.
Tell me a little bit about how you approach risk. So let me say, have some decisions to make. Maybe you need to pivot the company. It might be risky. What's your process for deciding whether a risk worth it or not?
So I'm very thankful now that I have a very close friend group who are business related.
Right.
And they have been in so much different industries that if I have something that I'm looking to go into, I could easily take it up with them and say, hey, do you think this is a good business or this is a good product to get into to sell? What I essentially do is my research, market research. I use AI. Everyone using AI now. Doing research on the different markets, the product, and it's really that decision where you know, or you think it would happen, or you don't think that it's gonna happen. You don't think if I put this product out, that the market would take likely to the product, would purchase the product, or me putting it out and knowing that, hey, if I'm gonna sell this, I'm gonna market it hard, and I know I'm gonna reach so much different people with this product, and they will want to buy the product. But it's also kind of ingrained in me in the mindset I have is that mindset, knowing that if I go into this, I could make this happen.
Right.
I have so much experience in business now. I'm not saying that I don't need more experience, but I have the experience with these two companies and other different products and stuff. That if I know I have to go and do this or start a new business, I know my experience and my intellect from doing all of this would make the business successful.
You have that trust in yourself and your capabilities of all the things you spend all this time learning and grading yourself that you can just now execute on.
For sure.
You mentioned you have a friend group that they're good into business, right? Not everybody have that. And you know, some people kind of on their own. How important you think that support system is?
What I would say, essentially, when you're starting a business, you're not going to start with a big friend group of successful business owners coming and just giving you advice and stuff. You need to start on your own. I started with just $2,000 on my own and grew that into 7-8 figures. So I started on my own, and then with hard work, with late nights, no sleep at all, long hours.
The things that people don't see.
Correct. Back then, running throughout the Trinidad for selling phones, $100 delivery, $50 delivery. Those are the things you don't see.
You're on your own.
You're on your own. So essentially, back then, I didn't have a big, successful
support group.
But with the time and with the hours you spend in your business, and you start making something of your own, you start becoming a little successful, you start making a difference. They would come in, and when they come in now, is to take your business to the next level. It's to network with the group and everyone winning the group together. Something that a lot of people tend to basically wait on is someone to push the back, someone to give them advice, and someone to say, hey, go and do that.
Before they act.
Before they act. And there's a big hindrance in starting ideas. A lot of people I know personally didn't start ideas because someone didn't tell them, hey, go and do this, go and do that. They have the best idea.
But they don't really believe in it.
They don't believe, correct.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big thing too, because me personally, I was somebody like that. I would sit on an idea for so long and not act on it until, you know, and it's really important because my business partner right there behind the camera, big up Rajiv. I'll be talking to Rajiv almost every night. I walk outside, check him. I just having somebody to bounce off of who believe in the same values I believe in. In terms of, like, you know, entrepreneurship and those kind of things. I think that support system could be make or break, you know, and that's a big reason why I start Legacy Level as well. So that people who do have that support system would have it in our community now.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think without that, I feel like he's been moving at a pace that you think is fast. And then when they start realizing, every time you talk to somebody, it's like, but why you not doing more? But why you could have been doing more? It's like, I really not doing anything. So that support group, to me, I feel like that is really important to actually pushing out of your comfort zone and achieving those kind of things now. What else you're working on right now, whether it be further in Glofrank, introducing new things, or even other businesses?
So right now, I into a couple different businesses aside from Glofrank. We have one launching very soon, a taxi company, and another one that we already started work on, a real estate company. So developing homes, going to be selling in the market very soon. Those two companies are the two main projects I'm working on right now outside of Glofrank. But the main goal still is to grow Glofrank to a level that we could expand outside of Trinidad, into Tobago, into the Caribbean islands, and develop the business. So we go back to what I touched on before. We want to build a legacy, we want to build a big company. And that doesn't stop with me going into another different business. You know, I
had to commend you too, bro, to be having two successful business already under your belt, and like you're still not like it's fire still under you, like 1x. You're always iterating, you're always innovating, you know. If it had somebody watching this home right now with an idea that they're just maybe scared to start or just not confident enough to start, but they have an idea, what advice you'll give to that person?
Well,
or what you would tell them?
The first good thing, a good place you have an idea already. A lot of people do have an idea. A lot of people coming out of school, you don't have a clue. I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. So you have an idea already. You're at a good place. Now is how we transform that idea to the next level, how we put it out in the market. So let me just say you have an idea that you want to do some kind of networking, you want to build a community. You have to start doing research. Doing research, how I could start this, how I could do this, how I could market this and get the people that I want buying from me or joining to me to start actually joining. And it's not hard. Once you start doing research and you have an idea already, you're already ahead of a lot of people in Trinidad, a lot of people around the world.
That's a good point.
So it's really to start acting. So you have the belief, start acting. If you don't have the belief, that's where you have to force it. You have to have the belief. Because if you don't believe in something, it will never happen. If I didn't believe I could do this, I would never been able to do it. Because something would have come on, something would have stopped me, some negative advice would have come my way, and I would have stopped all of this.
I feel like some people are always looking for somebody to do something to make them feel, oh, now is the time. But that time has never come. You just literally have to say 3, 2, 1 and whatever that first action is, whether it be the first step to research or creating the social media account. Like just count it in small steps and just jump on it.
That's a big step. That's not small. That's a big step. Correct. Every little thing you do in your business is a big thing. People wouldn't see it that way. But I could tell you, just creating a social media thing, that's a big thing. That's a big thing. That's a big progress.
What was the best piece of advice you ever received?
To keep building on what I have. Don't think of what you already had or what you have already built and be happy or be content with it. So for example, don't stay at the level that I am right now and be content. With me here and there back then, I didn't really understand it. But me going into business, building businesses, I would understand it now that I can't stay content at this level.
I have to keep it pushing.
I have to keep it pushing. And my mind would never allow me to do that. To stay content at this level. So it's always a next move, a next step, a next chapter, a next business we want to build to, along with Glofrank. But
so you did the tech stuff, you built Glofrank to what it is now, you're working on the other companies as well. What is one piece of advice you could give from everything you learn and you do? What's one piece of advice you could give to somebody out there watching this? It could be life, it could be business, it could be anything.
One of the main driving forces that I think kept me sane throughout this whole process is finding God.
Serious?
And I've been in church since I was born, essentially, before I was born. And although I have these packed days, whereas from as soon as I wake up to as soon as I go to sleep in the night, I'm in business. I never miss a church service. I never miss practice. I'm also a musician, keyboardist, guitarist, drums. I'm sure you know that too.
Same.
We still had to link up and do
guitar, drum.
Okay. We still had to link up and
for sure.
session.
They're gonna look forward to that clip soon.
Correct. Music is life.
For sure.
Yeah, I never miss opportunity in giving back to God, and I believe God blessed me to be a blessing to others. So giving back is a big thing to me, and finding God has kept me sane. Reading the Bible, praying, basically believing in that philosophy or that pathway that I need to be with God. I need God to direct my path. He's a major part of my life now. So always been a major part of my life. And I believe that's God is the reason that I have what I have right now. And
that's
to keep going forward.
That's right. If you're looking for Glofrank, where they could find you?
Well, I don't think that's hard to find.
Well,
just go on Instagram, go on
He's saying my social media efforts precede that question. Forget that question.
Glofrank Motors, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Well, Joel, I really appreciate this, bro. I know that they get a lot of value out of it as well. We have a lot more of these coming. If you're interested, join legacylevel.com. Join the community. We're basically trying to build a community where we all have that support system of like-minded business people who already running businesses, now starting businesses, growing their businesses. So join legacylevel.com, and Joel, again, appreciate it, bro. I'm looking forward to see what you do next.
Take care.